backing him among the diaspora, again, think that there's something like a viable
C'est la vie, la la la
somebody like
la
him is going to
la.
bring about supposedly a secular democratic Iran, and this gets back to that point about, like, you know, on the flip side of it, it's like, oh, it's like, if you disagree with that, then you are a terrorist supporter, etc. Right? And
I mean, I'm used to it.
yeah,
I'm like, whatever, you know.
socialist-oriented Muslim man. Like, who would have thought that you get heat? But I mean, so again, I feel you on all of that. The question I think that remains in the case of Iran,
C'est la vie,
that I think
la
is
la
really
la
interesting,
la
is
la.
that because so much of
Okay.
that actual, you know, resistance that is happening within Iran, the organic resistance by the people themselves, you know, there are legitimate claims that people are making, right?
How is it organic? It's not really organic. War isn't organic at all.
Necessarily want foreign
Like literally none of it. It's not
We
possible.
here at the Hassan Piker stream don't give a shit about Iran. It's only about conflicts that we can exploit for virtue points on the internet, right? You see, the problem with Iran is that the government supports all three of Hassan's favorite terrorist groups, so he can't possibly criticize
Yeah, that's
them
true.
because that would go against the narrative. Instead, he has to pretend to care about people being exploited
That's
and
crazy.
oppressed, except when it happens.
C'est la
His
vie,
actions
la
show
la
the
la
opposite
la
of what
la.
he proposes to believe every time. I mean, this guy acts like a socialist and a man of the workers when he can't even pay his fucking stream producer, Fruggen, who literally has to humiliate herself begging on stream every single time for money. God, man, you are actually such a bitch. Also, just for the dumbass host there, the reason people call Hassan a terrorist supporter is because he says stuff like, I support the Houthis, 10 toes down, and all this shit. Hezbollah very based. Yeah, that's explicit terrorist support. And he plays their propaganda videos. Like, what more do you need, dumbass? So then he talks about people being divided. I wonder who's doing that.
Solidarity is the antidote to the poison of divisiveness.
C'est la vie, la 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 la. How did he miss
All
that?
the time, neighbor against neighbor, sectarian conflict, ethnicities, all of this stuff. But in my experience, I feel alienated when I'm at home, when I'm in front of a computer. But in my experience, going all around the world, participating in protests, you know, tasting the tear gas and pepper spray of French police and American police and you know, police of all different backgrounds, I can tell you that when you're in that crowd with like-minded individuals who are singularly focused, who recognize right from wrong, solidarity is the closest expression.
Wait, he went to
I've ever
France
felt
and he
to
got
my
tear
fellow
gas?
man, no
I don't
matter
believe
where I
that.
go.
No.
And that's precisely how I maintain
How are they doing
revolutionary
that?
optimism.
They're
Hassan,
just
you
pretty.
usually divide people the most, and that is kind of why that you'll never win, is because you never even attempt to hear the other side, to hear other people's perspectives, to actually listen to them. You just sort of weaponize the sort of intense hatred people have, you know, based on the media. You spew misinformation and lies to make everybody angry. You take advantage of their vulnerable situations and their anger in general life, right?
C'est la vie,
And you
la la
try to
la
make
la
yourself
la.
the Messiah, the leader, the man
Motorzen.
who's going to save them and usher in the light. And all this time, you're just secretly pocketing more and more money. It's truly evil. Also, don't be fooled by revolutionary optimism. He literally means through violent means. This is the somebody needs to do it guy. This is the guy who justifies assassinations against his political opponents and basically says that, oh, well, it's actually useful and gets people to change their policies. And he always tries to cloak it through these less hard-hitting, like, words, but his true intention always reveals itself. Then in classic Hassan fashion, he tries to rally this sort of false support, saying that, well, actually, we're the majority. The majority
These guys are
terrorist
pretty good.
supporters and dog chuckers, actually.
So while
C'est
things
la
feel hopeless
vie,
overall,
la la
I
la
hold
la.
on to moments like that and remind myself that there are more of us than there are of them. There are more of us out here that recognize right from wrong than there are of those who seek to divide us. And that is what's important, and that's what helps me maintain my revolutionary optimism. Solidarity forever.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, luckily for us, that audience is not representative of the world at large, right? If it was, we'd already be cooked, right? We'd already be in fucking hell here. Luckily, this cheering audience is a fringe minority of delusional NPCs, and even this is pretty tragic, the fact that he's taken this many people into his cult, right? Zero common sense, zero fact-checking, zero logic, and just blatant cult support for this guy. It's honestly scary, but hey, one day at a time, we educate the people using the legendary series on the true nature of Hassan Piker. Share it with all your friends so they never turn out like this. Here's Hassan's comments. Feels like the crowd is just chat IRL. Oh my god, Hassan's chat IRL has got to be the most miserable group of people. Can you imagine Asmon venturing out of his decaying crypt and doing public forums like this? Yeah, he would, except your side assassinates people. Reminder, Hassan's debate opponent was literally shot, which is probably why Asmon is not fucking going out. If anyone wants to learn Hassan's secret, it is empathy maxing. Oh my god. Hell yeah, I love when he goes to college campuses. He always goes
What
to
is
art and
that?
political theory, and you can tell he loves nerding out. Dude, these college campuses are literal echo chambers of the radical left. Like, clearly, if they support this level of extremism, there is no sort of critical thinking going on there. Hassan good, Hassan critics usually PDF. I feel like that sums up the mindset of a Hassan viewer. How do you even argue with that? It's just like ooga booga, no? Now click this video or you gotta go to UBC for college, bruh. Ew! Alright, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Ubisoft.
How you doing? You're
The
mocking
stuff
my
for
height,
one.
you? Let me ask you, were you at any of the Iranian protests?
Absolutely. You know why?
Why?
Because we support many causes.
So you've been to the Iranian protests?
Let's get some right.
That's all
No,
right.
you guys
I'm talking to him.
They're going to fire for no reason. You know how they are.
I know how they are. Do you know how they are?
Well, we hear these protests every week, mate. Every week.
I said la vie, la 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 la
You're not
la.
worried about me, you're worried about my safety.
Yes.
Ivy Mini for Rebel News in South Bank, Melbourne, with the president of Israel, Isaac Herzog, just a couple
Yeah, I
hundred
got a
meters
one.
away. He's addressing the Jewish community, and of course, that brought out the usual suspects to protest the Zionists here on the streets of Melbourne.
Well, we're here because they're here. I'm trying to work out why they're here. I was just thinking as a taxpayer, the welfare and the police wages that this is costing, for what? You know, do you think that Herzog's going to listen to a live feed of what they're saying and influence the election Gaza? This is just bullshit. It's a waste of time. And with all these police here, they can clear it up in 10 minutes.
Aren't we here for Herzog? Come on, guys. I single-handedly made the Herzog protest disappear. It is now about other Yemen.
Didn't that law come in that you weren't allowed to wear a mask to a protest? And all these police, I've asked a number of them, and they don't know the law themselves. So I don't know how they're going to enforce it if they don't even know the law.
Did you bring your breadboard? Throw it at your missus?
Are you all about women's rights? Show us your face. Show your face. Show your face. Show your face, man. Show your face. Show your face. You're a coward. You're acting so tough with his face. Look at him. That's the face of the left. They hide behind masks. They go on
Oh
about
my God.
women's rights. They care so much about women's rights. This guy supports Hamas, who raped, made, kidnapped women on October 7th. And then let's not talk about the Iranian regime. Have you rallied for Iran? Have you rallied for Iran?
Beat my missus, have you?
There you go. He hasn't rallied for Iran. He doesn't rally for the Iranians. He's only here. Here we go.
Cause than their cause that they stand for. They don't really stand for any Palestinians at all. They don't care about them. It's just a fact that as soon as you come, they make it all about you. So how much is their cause important to them? You hear them. As soon as you come, Israel's irrelevant to them.
Who's worse, me or Herzog? Who's worse? Me?
That's so annoying.
I do want to say good on the Victoria Police for the way that they've been acting today, yesterday, and recently, allowing everyone to have their say, everyone to have their word. As
I said la vie, la 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 la
so
la.
it's a big kudos to the Victoria Police.
I can't help but laugh at the fact that these guys who pretend and are obsessed with a fake story about my personal life. And again, if you want to learn the truth about, if you're as interested as they are about my personal life, you can go read all about it at Rebel from the Start. I love how they give me opportunities to push my own story, my own book. It's got 5-star reviews even after all of them gave it 1 star, so you can go check that out, rebelfromthestart.com. But it is so funny to me that these guys pretend that they care about women's rights. They're so concerned with my ex-wife from 10 years ago, but they don't have that same energy when it comes to the victims of October 7th, when it comes to the women that were raped, that were murdered, that were kidnapped, sexually assaulted. On the streets of Melbourne, I know you guys have had a few rallies, some of them have been quite large, but nothing in comparison, let's be honest, to the rallies that this mob hold, and I think in a few hours they will be one of the largest ones. How does it feel to see them on the street, purporting to be standing for human rights for people in the Middle East, yet do you recognise any of their faces, the ones that you can see behind the masks?
That's a good question, actually. They have no idea what's going on there and why they are here. And why they are silent. Have you ever heard anything about that genocide and massacre in Iran in 2 days? No, never. Why? Why? Human is human, and people are people. What's going on there? So they are not fighting for their beliefs and human rights and something like that. It's just brainwash. That's it.
Why are you appropriating my Yemen flag there? Those are our Houthis. They're literally here in support of, I'm not about they're here in support of the Houthis. Basically, they're in support of the Yemen flag. My name's Avi Yemeni. Listen, they can have Yemen. They can have Yemen. We'll have Australia and Israel. Let them go to Yemen. They are so obsessed. It's so funny. Like, guys, I want to tell you, I am happily married. I know you love to talk about my ex-wife from 10 years ago. I have been happily married for many years, and unfortunately, I'm not going to date. I am so glad you care about desecration of Australian soldier burial sites. Now will you condemn your friends from that group right now who have desecrated the burial sites of Aussie diggers here in Australia? Will you condemn the people that desecrate? Yeah, they suddenly can't. So this is the game that they play.
Forget the group that keeps on saying death to Australia is now suddenly caring about the Australians who fight for Australia. There's a little bit of a contradiction going on over here.
These people, they hate Australia. These guys on the daily desecrate Australian war memorials. Now in Israel, apparently there was a story that came out from, by the way, The Guardian, who The Guardian usually celebrates when the slaughter desecrates Australian war memorials. The Guardian suddenly cares about Australia and brings war very sad thing in a war zone, and it hurts me as an Australian to see that. But I'm not going to take their word for it that Israelis went out of their way to desecrate an Australian war memorial. I know for a fact that in Israel they love and respect.
Bro, I lost so much loot, and then I'm not gonna even play this one, I'm guessing, because this guy's just not joining.
Celebrate the Anzac, so there's no way that that story's out there purported, but just to show you how bad faith this lot is. Suddenly they're talking about the desecration of war memorials. Looks like they're moving on from the actual event. They're going to Flinders Street, so we might wrap up here. But just before they leave, they're having their final words. I swear they've mentioned my name more than Isaac Herzog. Is that right? I just want a fact check by Victoria Police. I'm sure my name mentioned more than Isaac Herzog.
Definitely more than Isaac's.
The funny thing is,
oh my god.
they campaigned so hard for the President of Israel not to come to Melbourne or not to come to Australia in general. He came, credit where credit is due, and I don't often give credit to the Prime Minister of Australia, but he didn't care. I thought he made, and he did almost every event. It's important to note the only thing that they cancelled, and this is important, was in Melbourne. The socialists state of
Bro,
the
he literally arrived.
The
What
event at the council
happened?
was him visiting the Adas synagogue that was firebombed, burned down. Just think about that for a second. The Israeli president, the only event that they had to cancel here in Australia during his tour has been his visiting of a synagogue that was burnt to the
Finally.
ground because the Victorian police could not guarantee his security. If you enjoyed this report, make sure to like, comment, and share it far and wide. And then head over to followAvi.com. Make sure to subscribe to the mailing list and follow me across all socials so you never miss a thing. FollowAvi.com.
You know something? I was thinking, having thoughts, as many do. And it occurred to me that it's been a long time since I've given, like, a video game review. I'm still reviewing movies out the wazoo. I'm seeing trash that I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy, like The Strangers Chapter 3. But when it comes to new video game reviews, I've abandoned it. It's like I went to the store to get cigarettes and never came home. And that's mainly because with the gaming channel now, my thoughts on games kind of live there, but I haven't done like a full review on a game in a while. And I wanted to change that. A new game just came out and I recently finished it after about 28 hours. And that is 28 hours well spent. That is like 28 hours of euphoria right there. I'm talking 28 hours of soft, warm ball fondling is how this game made me feel. Nioh 3. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Nioh franchise. I've sung its praises for years. I have always glazed it, and even recently on the gaming channel, I uploaded a full Nioh 1 and 2 playthrough, a cumulative 30 hours worth of content I dropped, played it all on stream, just to get excited again and get ready for Nioh 3. And I am happy to say Nioh 3 did not disappoint. I also just uploaded a 24-hour video for my Nioh 3 playthrough. And I plan on doing more playthroughs because the game is just that good. Now, first things first, Nioh 3 is a Souls-like, and I know for a lot of people that's starting to carry a negative connotation now due to saturation. We're seeing tons of low-effort Souls-likes getting farted out every single day on Steam. Just throwaway asset flip garbage like my substitute English professor found a Shingon Wu and killed the Demon Lord. And like, everything is integrating Souls-like elements into games now, so a lot of people are getting a bit tired of it, myself included. There are a lot of lazy Souls-likes that I've played over the last year or so, but Nioh 3 is not. This is one of the best Souls-like games you can find. This franchise is among the best. And Nioh 3, I think, is probably the most mechanically deep of the franchise so far. It has so many systems. And for some people, maybe that's a bit overwhelming. But I think it's just...
No, oh my gosh, we're doing so
playing
bad.
Nioh into Nioh 2 and then immediately into Nioh 3, I'm loving the direction.
What is he doing, by the way? I don't even know.
Of course,
Oh, he's
it's not
going?
about
Okay, I
the
see.
most
He
notable
went for
performance. I think that is by far the biggest blemish Nioh 3 has at the moment. Throughout my 28 hours, I did have some stuttering, some hopping in, and just some general performance issues and some bugs throughout the playthrough. But nothing that I thought was like, you know, game ruining or anything. On console, I've heard it's a bit worse, but I played on PC, and I did still have performance issues. So that is definitely an issue. But for me, it didn't ruin the game. And there are a couple of other things that I think were... I want to talk about some of the big changes. The biggest change, obviously, being the open world, or more accurate to say, pseudo-open world. You explore regions through eras. And traveling through eras, you get an open world experience where you can freely travel around, fight some formidable foes out there in the world, bosses, or do side quests, get more lore, collect kodamas, which give you blessings, which can increase your stats or increase the efficacy of the elixirs. You can find other certain things like skills out in the world, which is a really cool idea where basically, through exploration, you get stat bonuses, you find things that'll help make you stronger, or you find things that'll help with your drop rates, you fight bosses that'll sometimes drop some really interesting gear, there's Jijiko out there that you can snipe, you pet that little animal and he'll give you another unique skill. there is just so much in the pseudo open world. It feels very alive. Like, it doesn't feel like a chore to explore it, and it's not so big that you're just going through like fucking 10 minutes of just idly running, doing nothing. There is always enemies to fight, things to find. So it's never boring traversing the pseudo open world. And notably, I am someone that has often said that this insistence for every game to have an open world is just an excuse to like pad out game time and just kind of lazily have players just traveling around doing chores. In like, you know, the classic Ubisoft world formula, that kind of eye-rolling garbage. Neo 3, I never got that feeling. Even though there is like enemy base capture that you can do, it's not like the bulk of the open world experience. There's like a few bases you can capture if you want to, and you get like good loot for it, of course. But there's just so much to do in the open world, and so much to find, and so many ways of using the open world to cater to your build. And there are endless builds that are viable. I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, the biggest change probably to the Neo formula is this open world approach now, and I think they did a good job with it. Previously in Neo 1 and 2, it was mission-based, so this is a big deal. They do still have missions here. You can do them through battle scrolls, so you can do like specific missions, so it's not like completely done away with, but the bulk of it's going to be through these open world experiences through the eras. And for me, I thought it was great. Now, I briefly touched on builds. Let's talk about that, because I think that's where most players are going to be very, very, very pleased. If you've never played a Neo game, and you're thinking about giving Neo 3 a shot, I think you're really in for a fucking treat if you're someone that enjoys min-maxing and getting like extremely wacky and silly with build ideas.
Nice.
Because
Okay, let me.
this game
I'm at
has
890.
so
That's not even
much
that bad.
depth. Like, it's, I could gush and grannies for hours
I'm
about
gonna.
how much
I'll be
you
back,
can do
but
here
I'm
to
going
cater a
right now.
playstyle to
See you
whatever
then.
you think is fun. So like for me,